And this is the Trump conflict playbook. Number one, every conflict starts the same way, okay? Every one of them starts the same way. 2 months ago, it was a lead up to this, right? President Trump posted a lot of message saying a massive armada is heading to Iran, continuously urging Iran to make a deal. So it's always a buildup of forces and things happening before. Look at Venezuela, right? We were going after the boats and we were doing the narco thing, right? Like it's the same kind of lead up every single time. With Venezuela, we were doing the narco boats, we were taking that. Then there was the airspace. Remember, he said the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela is going to be closed in its entirety, right? And then it was talking about maybe we'll put boots on the ground. It was like a lead up, right? It was a lead up the exact same way. Look at Greenland, right? NATO has been telling Denmark, this is what he wrote, for 20 years that you got to get Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it is time and it will be done. There is a problem. It's been going on for so long. Someone else had a chance to fix it, whether it was a prior administration, whether it was another country, whatever like that. They didn't do it. Now we must do it. Same rhetoric, same buildup. Every single time. Step 2 is strategic posturing and physical positioning. Same thing, all right? Happens every single time. And he does it even when it comes to a conflict that is not a war conflict, whether it's a conflict with a corporate interest, right? Look what he did with Intel, right? It shows here in his playbook that he has here. It goes that he met with the headline was August 11, 2025. He met with the Intel CEO, and days prior he posted that he is highly conflicted and must resign immediately. There is no other solution to this problem. A few days later, Trump comes out and says they've reached a deal with Intel to acquire 10% of the company. Remember, his goal is to make a deal. Be tough, get in position, force someone into a deal. You don't want to say you beat them and you look like the aggressor, but if you make a deal, you look like you're the hero, right? So the buildup can be troops, it can be threats, it can be whatever. Happens every single time. When it comes to actual conflicts, Friday night strikes. Every single time. Friday night or over Friday night into early Saturday morning. Think about it. U.S. and Israel airstrikes on Iran nuclear strikes in June of last year. Military strikes on Caribbean boats, September 1st, Friday night. The 100% tariff threat on China, October 10th. Venezuela's airspace was closed, November 29th. Military action in Nigeria, December 25th. These U.S. airstrikes on Iran, February 28th. This is market tied. This is the market. Trump cares about the stock market. Even if you're the most pro-MAGA Trump guy in the world, you're also like, well, yeah, I mean, he literally says that about the stock market. He brings it up every fucking 5 minutes. Like, yeah, of course. Now, that might be a good thing to you. Yeah, hell yeah, it's our 401ks in our economy, whatever. Doesn't matter. Even anybody can see this. This is all facts. This isn't like, Trump himself has talked about it and said how much he cares about the stock market. They bring up the stock market all the time. And that's just what it is. This is stock market related because during active market hours, there's price discovery. People react to the news. How big was it? How bad was it? How intense was it? Was there retaliation? Right? You get liquidity running thin immediately. There's algorithms causing volatility based on how many troops, this place, who is involved, whatever like that. Intraday swings, if there was like a sell-off, panic could start to feed into it. Capitulation could start. But by doing it on Friday, there's a buffer where everybody can there's a buffer because it's forced buffer where nobody has a chance to react to it. They have to wait for it to play out. So even if the market does go down because of this, it's not like a panic sell-off thing. So everybody gets the whole weekend to digest it, see what the risk is, talk to whoever, look for scenarios, what the retaliation was, because that's the big thing, right? If you attack somebody and there's a major retaliation or other big countries get involved, then there's another, it's a way of doing it. Some people say, well, this is fucking genius. Other people will be like, this is manipulation. Either way, this is what they happen. And then look what just happened this past weekend. They do the strikes on Friday, and then they start teasing a deal before futures open on Sunday. Step number 4, risk premium expansion. And I'm talking about across all asset classes. This is how other people that have access to things make money. There's already big money that's moved and positioned ahead of Monday. Remember how we talked about how a lot of stocks popped on Monday from the Iranian thing because of the retail side and regular people were able to buy in later in, like futures on Sunday night or Monday morning. By then, the positioning has already been done. This is how wealthier people end up making money, okay? Especially on commodities and stuff like that. Insurance too, yep. Your ear looks funny because it's squeezed up. Number 5, he likes to tease forever conflict. Okay, he just did it again. Same thing. Well, it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks. It could be over in days if we want it to be, but we have the capability to stay forever. We certainly hope this doesn't turn into a long-form thing. We don't want it to be a long-form thing, but if we have to, we will. So people buy the dip thinking Trump's going to do his taco and back down, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, shit. All right, let me tease a forever deal. And then we did it again this time. What was it? Today's the 4th? 2 days ago, Trump says, wars can be fought forever. And the U.S. has unlimited mid to upper tier weaponry. And he puts forever in quotations on purpose. That way he's basically saying, I don't want to fight forever, but I can if I need to. It's like a negotiating tactic for a deal. Remember, this is a playbook. Look at all the conflicts we've had. He's not going to benefit from a prolonged war, but he teases that it's there as like a, okay, we're going to keep doing this. Then the markets price in a prolonged conflict. So you see oil start going up because now it's like, wait, this could last longer. We could be more over there. There could be troops on the ground. There could be more retaliatory tax if we stay there longer and we continue to do more strikes and stuff like that. And that's what happened on Tuesday. Friday night strikes, you get it. Monday, people buy the dip on taco. Then he comes back, teases forever conflict. Tuesday, the market fucking dumps because it prices in a prolonged conflict. Money starts moving to the sidelines. Same thing happened with all the other ones. Smart money has been able to follow this plan each and every time. Remember how on Monday, when we saw the market completely gap up and go green, we legged out of positions, had some capital. The next day, it was yesterday, we fell, we used that to buy the dip. This is almost the same playbook every single time, and the market reacts to it too. Anybody who's paying attention knows almost to a T within a day or two where this money's moving. Or where these things are going to happen. This has happened every single one of these conflicts. Interesting enough, if you followed this, you would have outperformed the S&P 500 by like 5x. I'm not saying that you do this because obviously you're guessing and it's stupid to try to be that person. But this playbook has happened every time. Now we go to number 7. I'm serious. Go back to all the conflicts and see if this is exactly how it played out. Number 7, conditional de-escalation signals start appearing. Sources close to the administration are saying that Iran is wanting to come back to the table and make a deal. These are the terms of it. What have you never negotiated, buddy? Sour grapes, now's not the time for the trolling. I'm actually like locked in right now to do this, okay? Sometimes it takes longer. Even in the whole trade war starting in April of last year. Same kind of thing. A little bit more of a gap play out because they were focusing on what yields were doing at the time because they were going nuts. But same kind of thing. We had reciprocal tariffs announced. Market went down. Trump says, good time for Powell to cut rates. Then there was the tariff pause, fake news, whole thing went up. Basis trade unwind. Then we had the 90-day tariff pause announcement. So same kind of thing. Same pattern, okay? And then you got step 8, the market and political feedback loop. This is what nobody pays attention to. The market becomes part of the negotiations. Do you understand what I mean? Because remember we loop back to how we started this whole thing? What does Trump care about? What does this administration care about? This administration is the most stock market focused and stock market driven administration in history. On their own admission, they talk about it. I mean, Bondi in front of Congress. Why would you talk about victims and what they've done when the stock market, the Dow is over 50,000 right now? Trump says, look at the market. It's always, if it's bad, it's Biden's market. Look at what I've done for the market. Look at people's 401ks. They're very, very stock market focused. They care about the stock market. I talked about this when I started this. The market, whether it's the treasury market, whether it's the stock equities market, the oil market, the market begins to be part of the negotiations. Because now Trump's rhetoric and his speed of which he talks about these things in this playbook all goes... Every one of these steps, the time frame between each one depends on the market. Yields start spiking, we start getting closer to a trade deal. We start making concessions. We start doing 90-day pauses, right? Stock market starts falling. We start talking about how, oh, well, we'll just deal this. Greenland deal, right? Greenland thing started happening. Oh, yeah, we'll get a deal. The deal was bullshit. It was the same fucking deal we've always had, except for now we don't have to ask permission to do whatever the fuck we want. Before we could do whatever the fuck we want, we just had to let them know. Now we just don't have to let them know. Stock market starts going down. Oil prices start going up. Oil prices spiked. What did they come out and say yesterday? What did Trump say yesterday? This conflict will be over very soon and oil prices will be cheaper than they were before we started this. This is a playbook, guys. This isn't some fucking guy with some vendetta against this administration who's just trying to fucking steamroll. I'm just telling you what the playbook is. I didn't come up with this playbook. I'm just a messenger here, but this is beautiful because it's every single time. Then we get to step number 9. What's step number 9? The deal. Well, the framing. Now we got to start framing the deal. And they use that word frame. It happened with Greenland. It's happened with Venezuela. It happened with, all the other ones. Now, we're still in the middle of this one, and if the Iranian government and everything collapses, Israel and the United States will say that it's a success and military objectives were reached, okay? And in that case, we don't even get to this. We don't get to a deal. But they don't want that. They don't want the perception because then there's chaos in the Middle East, and then that leads to markets going nuts and stuff like that. They don't want that. But no matter what, they are going to frame it as a victory. Either the deal is a victory or the collapse is a victory. Okay? And it's not about economics. It's about what we went. We're going to end this war before it gets started. Okay? And then we get to number 10, which Kolbesi says, which names it, what they named it, was the violent repricing and political victory lap. Everything shoots up green again. You really think this shit's going to go back up? I really think the stock market is going to go back up? No, I think it's gone. I think it's done. I think it's over. I think this is the end of the stock market. Today is the last day. It's over.